What's up, everybody? It's the Rogue in Disguise North American community contributor for World of Warships Blitz, and today we're going to be talking about the Black Amalfi. Yes, it just came out yesterday in update 4.3, and we're going to take a look at it right now. As you can tell, they did the usual. They still kept the fuel smoke, too, on both versions of the boat, except they swapped out Precise Aiming number 1 with 2 charges with Rapid Reload 1 with 2 charges, and they changed it from Air Defense Alert 1 to Sonar 1. You still have SAP rounds, or semi-armor piercing penetration rounds, or semi-armor piercing rounds, excuse me, right there. There's really no big difference in the stats other than the ship hit points on the Black Amalfi. It's about 236 more hit points. Everything else stat-wise is pretty much about the same. No real significant change other than the surface detection. I was able to get it down to 8.7 kilometers. But other than that, the Black Amalfi is a really good boat. I had a lot of fun with it last night during the live stream, so check us out on Facebook Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays as we play World of Warships Blitz on Thursday nights. And we typically do new ships on Thursday nights. It's pretty freaking good. Other than that, there was some new, I would have to say a new split, because they got rid of, I don't want to say it's a split personally, but I think it's the Russian. They replaced the Kiev and the Moskva with the Alexander Nevesky, which is actually a pretty good boat. I had a lot of fun with that at Tier 10 Cruiser. You got battle honors with it as well. It doesn't... It seems like a good boat. I've not had a lot of problems with it. And they also replaced the Kiev with the Kotovsky. Forgive me. And that one's a lot of fun as well. So let's dive into them a little bit. Let's start with the Kotovsky. Let's go to Armory. And we'll go into the details. We're going to get Air Defense Alert 1 with that boat. Also, we'll take a deeper look at the stats itself. It was built in 1936, 8,600 tons of displacement, 189.6 meters long, 16.8 meters wide, 120,000 horsepower to push it through the waters. Its in-game survivability is 19,152 hit points, citadel protection of 7.5%, fire and flooding resistance at 10%, damage reduction at 6%, torpedo damage reduction also at 6%. Max traverse speed on the rudder is going to be 6.5 degrees per second, and time to turn is just 7.5, or almost 7.2 seconds. Not too bad. Main guns are 152 millimeter L/B52s, B31s, and a 4x2 facet with a 8-second reload time. Max range on this boat is going to be 11.02 kilometers. Main battery high explosive damage is 437. Chance of setting a fire is at 5%. Main battery armor piercing damage is 526. Citadel damage rate of 150%. Turret traverse speed is 8.80 degrees per second. That could be a little faster in my opinion, but it's not too bad overall. Here's my issues. It's got torpedoes. It has 533 millimeter triple 39U in a 2x3s, facet with a 39.5 second reload time, rough about, because it's 38.40. But each torpedo is going to do 3,360 damage per torpedo. But the range, I'm having the kind of an issue. It's only at 4.5 kilometers. Now, the speed of the torpedoes are pretty nice at 66.69 knots, and with a 12% chance of flood, it's not too bad. 22 degrees per second is going to be your torpedo tube traverse speed. Your large caliber AA damage is going to be 74 for your anti-aircraft armament at a range at 3.60 kilometers. Your small caliber AA damage is at 31 at 1.50 kilometers. Your surface detection is at 8.10 kilometers. Now let's take a look at the Tier 10 version of it. Let me just scroll right over. This may take a second. I'm doing this with minimal amount of effort in doing it, and we are doing this as a live deal. Moskva is now a premium ship, along with the Kirov. We are looking for the Alexander Nevesky. And here on the Alexander Nevesky being replaced by the Moskva, Alexander Nevesky was built in 1953. It's got 21,350 tons of displacement. Its length is 231 meters. Its width is 23.51 meters wide, and it has 192,000 horsepower to push it through the waters. Its ship hit points are 41,150 hit points. Citadel protection is 7.5%. Fire and flooding resistance at 15%. Damage reduction at 7.5%. Torpedo damage reduction 10.5%. could be a little better, but not the worst I've seen. Maneuverability, its max speed is going to be 35.43 knots, time to full speed of 18.55 seconds. Max traverse speed on the rudder is going to be 6.20 degrees per second, and time to turn is at 11.40 seconds. Its main guns are 180 millimeter L/65 SM-45s and a 4x2 facet. Its reload time is 6.18 seconds. Its range is 14.43 kilometers. Its main battery high explosive damage is 605 with a 6% chance of setting a fire, with the main battery armor piercing damage of 811. Citadel damage rate of 200%. Turret traverse speed on those guns is going to be 12 degrees per second. I wish that was just a tad bit faster, but you know what? I had fun with it last night and it wasn't too bad. Let's talk about its torpedoes. 533mm PTA 53-68 BISs in a 2x5 facet with a reload time of 56 seconds. Torpedo tube damage torpedo damage is 3,388 with a torpedo range of 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers. Really? 6 kilometers? We're only at... Yeah, that could be a little longer. I wish that was about 7.5 kilometers. 6 kilometers isn't all that grandiose. That's if a case of a little destroyer sneaks up on you and you happen to be broadside to it and you drop a set of torpedoes on it and hopefully you're doing on a narrow spread just to get them away from you. But the torpedo speed is going to be 65.02 knots per second, 65.02 knots. Chance of setting a flood is 12%. Torpedo tube traverse speed is 18 degrees per second. Let's talk about an anti-aircraft armament for the Nevesky. Its large caliber AA damage is 300. Large caliber AA range after modification and everything done, I got it almost up to 5 kilometers at 4.79 kilometers. Small caliber AA damage of 232 at 2.31 kilometers. Its surface detection, you can get it a little bit lower with the surface detection mod, but right now I got it sitting at 10.86 kilometers. Not too bad. Let's talk about another boat that's actually also in the game as well when we played it last night, and that's the Agir. Again, that's going to be a German Tier 9, I believe. Let me switch over to that. Second Agir, there we go, German Tier 9. And let's talk about this boat as well. It's Agir. It's an Agir class built in 1941. It's got 30,500 tons of displacement. Its length is 242.8 meters. Its width is 29.95 meters, almost 30 meters wide. 176,000 horsepower to push it through the waters. Let's talk about its in-game survivability. Its hit points is 46,388 with a 15% citadel protection. Fire and flooding resistance at 12.5%. Damage reduction at 12%. Torpedo damage reduction is at 14.31%. This is after modifications. Max speed is going to be 32.79 knots. Time to full speed just under 21 seconds at 20.90 seconds. Max traverse speed on the rudder is going to be 5.80 degrees, taking it almost 12 seconds to complete a turn. Main guns are a 305mm L/56 SK C-39s in a 3x3 facet, giving you a total of 9 guns with 305mm guns. Range of 13.54 kilometers. Not too bad. Main battery high explosive damage is going to be 743 with a 9% chance of setting a fire. Your main battery armor piercing damage is going to do 1,357 with a 250% citadel rate. Turret traverse speed is going to be 6 degrees per second. Secondary guns are going to be auto. They're going to be 128mm L/60s, KM40s, and a 9x2 facet. Reload time of just 4.05 seconds. The range on those guns after modification is going to be 6.21 kilometers. Secondary battery auto HE damage is going to be 330 with a 2% chance of setting a fire. Torpedo tubes are going to be 533mm Burling torpedoes in a 2x4 facet with a 48-second reload time, which isn't too shabby. But each torpedo is going to do 3,186, and your torpedo range is at 5.40 kilometers. Torpedo speed is going to be 59.74 knots. Chance of setting a flood is at 11%. Torpedo tube traverse speed is going to be 16 degrees per second. Now let's talk about the anti-aircraft armament on the Agir. It's 297 at 3.60 kilometers, which isn't too bad. Your small caliber AA damage is pretty nice at 2.40 kilometers, and it's going to do 260 damage. Your concealment, your surface detection, is going to be at 9.83 kilometers after modification. I did use the modification of concealment system modification number 1, which reduced my surface detection by 10%, which made the boat a little easier to play because with that larger surface detection, you get spotted pretty quickly. But the boat is pretty nice and is fun to play overall. Some of the disadvantages of it, you have to play slightly aggressive, but with its health pool, you tend to wind up finding yourself in trouble quite a bit. So what is the pros and cons of this? Boat is decent sized guns, not the best sized guns. It's pretty good support boat. Some things you should not do by yourself with this boat overall, as I did play this Thursday night on my live stream on Facebook, fb.gg/The Rogue in Disguise Gaming. And overall, I have to say it's fun, but you definitely want to be in a division with it, and you guys want to be coordinating yourselves a little bit to make this boat a little bit more effective. With its torpedo range, it does make it interesting. So the biggest issue is I really never got a chance to use the torpedoes unless the destroyer got super close or another cruiser got super close, but I was able to sink some boats with it. It was overall kind of fun. Is it worth the time and effort to grind or purchase this boat? I'm kind of on the fence with it, to be perfectly honest. I'm a little bit on the fence with it. Saying neither good nor bad either way, because I am an average player with about a 56% win rate. I'm on the fence with it. There's going to be some players out there that's going to be really skilled with this boat, using islands for coverage, coming out, being semi-aggressive, not too aggressive, and I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do a lot of damage on it. Let's talk about the details of this boat. You're going to get sonar number 1, and you're going to get 2 charges of that, but we got a new skill called secondary overload number 2. It increases the secondary gun reload speed and firing range by 25% for 20 seconds and a cooldown time of 60 seconds, and you're going to get 2 charges of that. This is a new skill in the game. And so far, this is the only boat I've seen with it. I'm sure later on down the road, there's going to be new skills added, along with more boats with this secondary overload system. So what do we think about this boat? It's good to a certain degree. But I think what's probably best about this boat overall, and this is just my personal opinion on it, everybody else is going to have their different opinions about this. Would I purchase this? Honestly, for myself, that's tough to say. If I got the extra money, I might, but right now, I don't see myself immediately rushing out and purchasing this boat. Maybe when it's probably at a reduced price, and it's a fun, niche little boat, I have to say. Will it be best in Tier 9 competitions? It'd probably be a pretty good, decent, competitive boat if you find the right group of people to make sure it runs okay, and understanding in how this cruiser works. But overall, I think it could be a good asset to your little flotilla in your harbor. But the downside of it, well, let's just say, if you get focused on more than just one boat, you're going to be taken out pretty quickly, just in any case and scenario overall. So if you like this video and want to catch more like this, make sure you subscribe right now so you can catch future videos from me, as I too tend to produce videos Monday through Friday during, well, at least one video during the week, or if not 2, depending on what's going on in the game. If not, check out our live streams on Facebook as we do play World of Warships Blitz, Call of Duty Mobile, and Overwatch Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Until the next video, guys, don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.